We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico, Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkan. In a moment to the ballpark, we'll check in with Reuben Amaro Jr. Can't figure this team out. They have a 5-2 road trip. They beat Seattle 2-1. They take 3 of 4 from the Dodgers. Should have swept them. You cannot play dispirited, dispassionate baseball, accepting Zach Eflin, of course, and expect to win games. You can't give away games in a manner of speaking. You just can't do it. Then you give away your season.
Bottom line is they didn't hit the baseball tonight. Clevenger did pitch well. You give them that, okay? But they just didn't hit the baseball. I see 5 hits when I look at the box score. They didn't have 5 hits, number one. Manny Machado had 2 errors. Yeah. But for some reason, they gave the Phillies an extra hit in there. No matter what, you don't score a run, you don't win a game. Eflin was outstanding. The Phillies, I wouldn't say defensively were good tonight. Schwarber with a big error in left field. We saw some other plays that should have been made in the field. So this was an ugly game. Ugly start to a homestand is what it was.
Ben,
I don't know if they were dispirited. I think they just flat out got beat. The Padres played better. They got timely hitting. The Phillies just couldn't scratch a run across even. But I do like what I saw out of Eflin. He used that sinker very well tonight and mixed in a couple of speed pitches. But I liked what I saw out of him. Maybe that's something he can build on.
I think,
and it could have been worse. It could have. The Padres were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. This game could have been a lot worse.
Right. And when I say dispirited, I'm talking Odubel kicking the ball around in right field, Schwarber making a mistake, Bryson Stott dropping some balls, and then they fail to hit after they've been hitting all road trip. We talked about that as well. Let's talk to Reuben Amaro Jr. right now. Call tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. Rube, how did you see this game unfold behind the arm of Zach Eflin first? And we wondered whether or not he was going to bring it the way he did, and then the bats failed to follow suit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they didn't really capitalize on the fact that Eflin came out and threw the ball extraordinarily well. You got to give Clevenger and Gore a lot of credit. They threw the ball extremely well, but when you have these close games, you have to play good, sound, fundamental baseball. The Phillies just did not do that tonight, and the Padres took advantage of it. And that's how the Padres have been winning. They haven't been really pounding the ball. They've been figuring out ways to win baseball games, and they did it again tonight.
Only 3 of the guys from the Phillies had faced Clevenger so far, and one of them is Didi Gregorius is not even playing with the team right now. Right. He's injured. Segura's the other one. It's okay in very limited at bats, and then Castellanos, 218 among the 3 of them. And we heard Bryce Harper say a couple of weeks ago, facing a Mets pitcher, we never saw him before. It's difficult if you hadn't seen a guy, right?
Yeah, it is difficult, unfortunately, you don't want to waste the effort that Zach Eflin. I don't want to take away from his effort today. He really pitched well. That was kind of vintage Zach Eflin. Unfortunately, couldn't go a little bit further. I know that Joe wanted to get him out of the game. He hadn't pitched in 16 days or so. But he pitched an excellent game. Hopefully, he can build on that because I think the starting pitching is going to be a strength for them. But again, this is about this team offensively. It's a much better offensive team than we've seen the last couple of nights. Hopefully, we can get Harper back in there and they can start swinging it again.
All right, Reuben, we'll check in tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Reuben.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Reuben
guys.
Amaro Jr. calling it tonight with Tom McCarthy. Yes, sir.
By the way, Mike Clevenger is not a pearl in a clam's mouth. He's not somebody we haven't seen before. Let's get that straight.
No, not that we haven't seen before. That's right.
Okay, but they were well aware of who he was and what he brings to the table. Let's not play that game.
No.
I'm sick of hearing that the Phillies are this team that can't hit when they don't see a guy. You know what? Just study more.
They've offered that up, though, before. They have offered that up before.
Yeah, they have, but it's getting tiring.
Mm-hmm. It is. We're almost a quarter of the way through this season. What the heck? What do we have in this team?
Well,
it's a good question.
You can start if you want.
It's a good question. I think you're seeing a ball club with above average starting pitching, and that's a pleasant surprise. There were a couple different questions that needed to be answered with regards to that. How's Aaron Nola going to bounce back? How's Zach Eflin going to bounce back? How's Kyle Gibson, who made the All-Star team last year in Texas, got traded over here, had a rough second half? What are they going to do with their bullpen? Can they find a closer? I think they've answered the starting pitching question really well, and they've answered the bell. This offense it's hit or miss right now, and obviously on that road trip it was a lot of hits, but right now tonight it was a lot of misses. Defensively, I think they're going to make the fundamental plays, and I don't think a lot of them are going to win Gold Gloves. But I think right now they need to be a little bit more. They need to be more consistent offensively. If they want to do anything or make some strides, I mean, they're 2 games underneath 500 right now. If they want to make some strides, they got to start banging the ball around more consistently.
By the way, Mike Clevenger, first win since 2020. Since 2020.
Yeah,
so they haven't, I know that. They haven't, I'm saying they haven't seen them.
The other thing is, everybody's saying great road trip, great road trip. That road trip was this close to not being a good road trip. When you go back in every one of those games in L.A., those games could have gone either way. And I think the Phillies were lucky to come out of there, obviously, with 3 out of 4. They could have swept, but, I mean, it could have gone 3 out of 4 in the Dodgers' favor.
You're right, but that's why I thought the Phillies made a stand and sent a little message.
I look at tonight's game. Yes, the offense wasn't there tonight. The offense is going to be there. I agree with Ben that they're a little inconsistent at times. They go into these swells, right? They go up the swell, then they go down the swell. They have to find some consistency in there. That's true. But they have to find a bullpen. And they need an identity in the bullpen immediately.
All right, let's hear from Joe Girardi post-game on a 3-0 shutout loss.
The offense is starkly different from out west. Does one guy make that much difference, Brian?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's a night that I don't think we had a whole lot to hit, and we didn't necessarily swing the bats great. We didn't walk tonight, but I just think it was one of those nights. I mean, Clevenger looked like he was throwing the ball pretty well, and Gore came in, threw the ball pretty well. It was just one of those nights.
What are you seeing from Schwarber right now?
You know, he had an okay road trip. You know, he was on base 3 times Sunday night. Just he's missing his pitches when he gets it, is what's happening. Like he hit the home run foul. You know, he missed it, right, in a sense. It's just, you know, he's not swing. He didn't swing well tonight.
That shift hit by Will Myers.
Yeah.
In the
Fifth.
Fifth. It was 1 and 2. The right side of the diamond is kind of wide open, and the pitch is executed away. Is that what you want there? Because he has a better chance to hit it where the field is open.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he's going for the strikeout. There is what he's doing, probably, and you got to understand that the reason you shift in there is even with 2 strikes in the ball, he's still pulling the ball. He just did not in that one. You know, the numbers will tell you he's going to pull it probably 75-80% of the time. He just didn't on that one.
What did you see from Eflin?
He was great. I mean, his location was great. I thought his 2-seamer was great. He was ahead all night in the count. He pitched really well.
Strikeouts looking for him today.
Yeah.
It seemed like. Is that something that you look at as meaningful?
Yeah, I think it means that he's hitting his spots, and he's throwing pitches that a lot of times appear to be strikes that end up balls in the opposite, you know, that backdoor 2-seamer, some of the right-handed hitters.